Hey, what's your self-talk? Jahbari here, and I want to ask you a question. Are you allowing yourself to be defeated? Do you embrace this "I don't believe in defeat" mindset, or are you allowing yourself to be defeated? So that's why I want to challenge you today is do not believe in being defeated. I think we live in a negative society, and due to social media and just a lot of information that comes at us, kind of unfiltered sometimes, we can get caught in this funk. And I want to tell you a story about how I believe you and I can continue to fight, living in a negative world and just learning how to overcome this defeated mindset, because many of times if we fall in this type of mindset, well, we become a victim instead of a victor in life. So it was a guy named Obstacle Man. Now, Obstacle Man was someone that instantly, when things came up, when opportunities came, he would think of all the obstacles that would come up instead of looking at all the possibilities. So one time he was at work and his director brought a project to the table, and he was meeting along with his other board with Obstacle Man in the room, and he said, hey, now this project have some expenses, it has some hazards, but it also have the possibilities. Now Obstacle Man said instantly, wait just a minute. We need to look at some of these definite obstacles that's going to be in the way. Now, one of the guys that didn't say much, but it was well respected among his associates, said, why do you choose to focus on the obstacles instead of the possibilities as we look at this project? He said, because you have to understand that there are definite obstacles that are going to be in place when we look at this project, and we as intelligent individuals have to look at this. Now, do you oppose us to do something else? He said, do I oppose? I oppose that you remove them and forget them. Now, Obstacle Man was a little puzzled. He said, now, how do you think that we can be able to remove them and forget them? He said, that's easier said than done. Do you have some special technique that we don't know about that you want to share with us? He said, well, actually I do. So he reached into his pocket and he pulled out his wallet, and inside his wallet, the little glass, he had words that were written on a card, and he slid it across the table to Obstacle Man. Now he picked up the wallet and he started looking at it. He started reading it to himself. He said, no, read it out loud. He said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. He closed it, slid it back across. Now, the man put it back in his wallet. He said, now son, I've faced a lot of difficulties in my life, and I've faced a lot of obstacles. He said, with those words combined with faith and gut and the experience that he's had and how his other peers have always seen him, they didn't see him as being this person that, oh, he's holier than thou. They seen him as somebody that was true to his words, and so they believed him. They believed him so much, even Obstacle Man knew that this guy didn't say much, but when he did say something, everybody listened. So they actually moved forward with the project, and despite the difficulties and the risk, guess what? It was a success. Many of times we go through life focus on the obstacles that's going to hold us back, instead of focusing on the success and the possibilities. And I want you to take this technique, and I want you to think about when obstacles come about and that negative talk start, you need to be able to have a system, a formula, a technique that you go to. I have one for myself. If I'm in my vehicle and I'm driving, I have a quote. I have and two pictures on my steering wheel. Now, when those negative thoughts come, because they will, what I do, I look at that quote, I look at those two pictures. Now that quote is a scripture that I quote for myself. That is me personally. And then I look at that picture of my wife, and then I look at the picture of my son. And I remember, because me believing in this allowed me to have this beautiful family. And it built us to where we're at right now. And so I want you to take a quote, whether it's a scripture, whether it was some famous speech that you want to be able to listen to or even quote, maybe in a short version. I want you to think about what would you do in handling those obstacles that's going to come. Because when we don't plan for things is when they trump us, much more of a surprise. But when we plan for those things, when we know they're going to come and we have a way to overcome them, then we're more confident, just like the man in the story. All right. So what's your self-talk? How will you overcome this defeated mindset? I want you to move forward and press forward. Make no excuses. And I want you to think about that story as you face obstacles. All right. What's your self-talk? Boom. Hey, make sure you like, subscribe, and like. That's it. Share this with somebody, because I know Obstacle Man will be encouraging to somebody else who may be the obstacle man. Maybe that's you. Look at it again. Thank you for watching.
You can't let nobody tell you what you can and can't do. No.